All right, guys, welcome back to Krazy4KVs podcast. This is episode 4. We're going to call this one All the Projects. Um, this is the second episode. Adjust my audio here a little bit. This is the second episode where we're pretty much we're going to do it in video format, so you can either watch it here on YouTube or obviously the same vectors. You can listen to it for the podcast, Spotify or Anchor.fm. And if you found the podcast, you already know that. But maybe you're seeing this on YouTube and want to switch over to audio only, run some errands, do some chores, do some wrenching, whatever you want to do. You can find it there. And the link will be below in the YouTube video. So we got a kind of a general format we usually follow. You see me looking away. I've got some notes over here. Yeah, we typically follow kind of a similar format, kind of walk through things. If this is your first time seeing the podcast or listening to it, I'm Tim. I run a very small YouTube channel, Krazy4KVs, RC. Pretty much all things RC, but right now, it being a little bit cooler out, and sun setting earlier, a lot more building, a lot more crawlers. I do have some bashers and rock bouncer as well. I got some small scale stuff, but really into the 1/10 crawlers right now. That's where the majority of my attention is going. So that's what you guys are getting. But yeah, I just want to first say that, thanks for all the support. If you're a subscriber, I really do appreciate it. If you comment in the comments, I also really appreciate that. You guys have been extremely encouraging. Those comments sometimes push me to, stay up past homework or come home from work and kind of get right to it in editing or filming or coming up with an idea. So they do help. It's kind of a vain reason to like them, but I also just enjoy reading what you guys have to say. And, sometimes you guys give feedback, oh, try this, do this, here's a tip. And that stuff is all super helpful. I don't claim to be an expert. I've been in the RC pretty seriously for about 3 years, but really on and off for 10 to 11. So, just like a lot of other people when COVID hit in 2020, really picked it up, got into it, and haven't looked back. So without further ado, we always start off with a channel update. It's kind of for me, I can go back and watch these and kind of remind myself of, where you started. And even between now and the first episode, the channel's grown a lot. Podcast doesn't get, as much attention, and that's okay. The purpose of it isn't to drive views. The purpose of the podcast is to kind of talk, all things that don't quite meet video threshold or just spitball ideas out loud. And it's a great place for, me to kind of vent and ramble and try to eliminate some of that in the videos. So, so we're at 380 subscribers. We had a really big hit. We had a lot of influx of subscribers. If you're new and you're here for the RC Speedy C3 build, thank you. Thanks for all the support. Those videos have been huge in my growth. And I got some more cool stuff coming. So just hang tight. If you're looking for a little more unique builds, then I got something in the works and we will get to that. But yeah, almost 24,000 views total, which I think is pretty darn awesome. That's really cool. 1,600 watch hours. Also pretty cool. Not trying to make money on this, but if I can make a few dollars here or there, that'd be pretty cool. Making RC videos, that's kind of the dream, right? YouTube allows you to apply at 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. So almost halfway there on watch hours. My videos are pretty long, so no surprise there. And about a third of the way there, subscribers. So been doing this pretty consistently for about 3 months now. Not as consistent as some, you got guys like XOKs that do, they do a video every single day. So he's very consistent. You guys always know. And I even look forward to, every day, what's he going to put out? What's the video today? You do get some repetition in there, but that's okay. I kind of eat up the RC content on YouTube. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to contribute, just be another vector of entertainment for folks and for information. So that's about as far as I'm going to go for the channel update. Nothing crazy. It's been kind of steady, getting 50 to 100 views on a lot of videos. That's okay. That's kind of where I expected to be. That RC Speedy, I think, was kind of a outlier as far as a build. A lot of people want information on it, and there wasn't a lot there. And it's one of the reasons ultimately that I decided to start the channel, was to get that information out there. But um, typically, I usually talk about like new gear, new stuff for recording, studio type things. Nothing new. Still rocking the same gear. It's been great. I am getting better with it. Remembering to change settings when I go back and forth, things like that. Getting the stabilization turned on the GoPro. Um, setting zooms right on that, and yeah, the my main shooter for photos and for studio stuff has been nothing but awesome. It's a workhorse, and that's what you guys are seeing me on right now. So, recent videos to check out, kind of back to the YouTube channel. If you're a little behind and you missed it and it got lost, if you're like me, I think I'm a subscriber to maybe 200 or 300 channels. So it's pretty easy for things to get buried. Either I know I have channels that I will go and look for stuff, if they have scheduled releases, or live streams on certain days, Harley Design, Scale Builders Guild, Moose Jaw, any West Desert Wheeler video I try to catch. I see Exo Caged every day, but anyways, some new things that, maybe you've missed in the past week or so, or couple of weeks. So I did a video on the Hyper Tough 4 volt versus my DeWalt 8 volt gyro max, and or max gyro, and it was a pretty fun video. I liked it a lot. It was cool. There were some people who kind of, I think they were confused why I was using the 2x4 and drywall screws, but I just knew that that would be something that was challenging enough to test the power, kind of, but also I could test how sensitive the clutch was, and that was the whole reason for that. Additionally, we did a second shakedown run, the second maiden voyage for the RC Speedy C3. Pretty long video, and it went much better this time. We got the accessory servos all figured out. I was really able to really test it, and I took some preload out of the shocks for that video. Got it sitting quite a bit lower. Even a centimeter or half an inch on a truck that heavy really made a big difference, and it did quite well. It did about how I thought it should have initially. I was kind of disappointed with the performance in the first video, so happy with it. You guys will keep seeing it. I love that truck now, and it was really reliable. I ran it for 45-50 minutes, no issues, and it's actually pretty tough because of the anodizing on the panels. They don't scratch. I'm glad. I thought about doing just raw and painting it up, but A, I'm no artist, and B, that paint would have just got scratched. So another big video for me was the RC toolbox, intermediate level tools for your, RC maintenance, basically. And, it didn't do really well, but it was a fun video to shoot. And I fully intend to do, that advanced level, kind of that premium level set of tools, and some oddball stuff in there too. If you found this and you have a couple vehicles and you're still working with some really budget friendly stuff, but you're looking to, make your wrenching sessions a little more enjoyable, a little more efficient, definitely check that video series out. That beginner series kind of walks you through like the basic tools you need to get the job done. Probably to build your first kit and not make it a miserable experience. But this newest one, the intermediate level, you could get by for a long time with those. I did years and years, built a lot of kits with them. A lot of the trucks you guys have seen were built with those tools. So they work well, they're reliable. Showed you guys my first mini, TRX 4M. It is my favorite mini. It's 18 scale. It's a little closer to that 10 scale driving experience. The oil shocks, longer, wider, a little bit more weight, and I just like the motor size and the body mounting system. Traxxas really knocked it out of the park with that. So you want to see that video, see me drive it on the same terrain you see me drive the 10 scale stuff, A, it really surprised me and impressed me, and B, you'll get to hear kind of my thoughts on it. And there was also a request from y'all in there to let me know what servo you wanted me to put in it, because I think the servo is the biggest downside. Traxxas RTR servos are particularly bad. They're just really slow and really weak. And I put, brass rings in that thing, and that was about all it took to make the steering kind of insufficient. There's quite a few times in that video, and in the footage that didn't make the video, where it it didn't quite perform the way I wanted as far as steering goes. So I only had one guy respond. I was between the EcoPower 640T and the Reese Raw 99 Micro, and I have the adapter from DSM Off-Road for that 99 Micro. Guy said, put the strongest servo in it if you have them both. I guess what he didn't know is, the 99 Micro could have been used for something else. It's not like it's going to go to waste, but I think I would just prefer just to go with that one. And, I think that's what we're going to do. So look to see that soon. And we will be doing a servo upgrade and possibly a motor upgrade too. While we're on the topic, I don't know if you guys saw, but Holmes Hobbies, my favorite motors, they came out with some TRX 4M replacement motors. No other modification needed. I got pinions on them. They plug right into the stock ESC, and he's selling two different speeds, so an 87 turn and a 66 turn. So these are his Torque Master Minis. His recommendation is if you have the lower ratio, transmission gears, which I did put in, go with the faster. It'll kind of get you back to that factory level wheel speed, but with that low speed crawlability that those slow transmission gears or, high reduction transmission gears offer you. So probably just going to do it all at once. Was going to do just the servo, but when I wrench, sometimes I just prefer to just do multiple upgrades at once. It makes it a little bit easier. And going to be doing that real soon. I actually have the battery charging, so I can get a kind of a comparison on the speed between that stock servo and that 99 Micro, which I know is going to be pretty significant. And the most recent videos in this past week. So the 4-wheel steer Capra, it got some brass up front, which it really needed, I thought. It got some new foams and it got some new beadlock rings. So pretty excited about that. Look forward to, continuing to run that. It just, continues to get better as I make small improvements. And it was a pretty fun video. I really like that 4-wheel steer Capra. I'm not the best with using the 4-wheel steer features, but I really enjoy it. And then the most recent video, I just put Proline BFG crawlers onto my VS410 Pro. So huge improvement. Don't want to spoil it too much, but over the tires I had on there previously, much better. And it was really that first long run footage you guys have seen of my Pro. I'm sure you guys have seen Pros before, but just wanted to share mine. That first RC Garage Tour video, my run footage was cut pretty short. So that's pretty much it. As far as newest videos, things have been a little bit slow, and I guess I'll jump around a little bit, just to explain why things have been a little bit slower and, and maybe a little less exciting with the builds and the things that are coming out. That's because I have quite a few projects in the works. If you guys have seen the podcast or listened to it, from the past episodes, I have an A1 Moon Buggy Speedy. It's like a Phoenix portal, or I guess it's just a Phoenix conversion basically to a tube chassis. Confirm my order. I guess my order actually got lost, or the, confirmation. Confirmed, paid for it. So should be being built as we speak, and hopefully being shipped very soon, possibly the week you guys are hearing this. So on that C3, when he shipped it, I think it was 4 or 5 days from China to my door. Extremely fast. So my recommendation, if you do anything with RC Speedy, if you don't hear from him, just reach back out. Very personable, and told me, I'll be bumped to the top of the list because I should have already had it. Um, the I'm also looking to do a woods runner build. Haven't really started on that besides for building some of that truck. So that's a Phoenix straight axle, but it's on D44 aluminum housings, and it's going to have a brazed tube cage on it. I think I'm going to take my half cab body that I got in my Ultra, which I guess I haven't told you guys. I did Trucks of Fortune, and I ended up getting a VS410 Ultra. Um, and for that price, that's a excellent value. I was pretty pumped about it. I would have been happy with anything, honestly, but probably gonna use the half cab and put that on the Woods Runner. If you haven't seen, Josh Thede or Harley Designs Woods Runner, go check it out. It's I'm very envious that he has that, and I'm gonna try to emulate it. He has cage templates on his website for free. It's not exactly like the one he has, but I like the style nevertheless, and been doing a little bit of brazing and practicing on that, and kind of getting the hang of it. First couple of braiding projects, I think, turned out really well for my first ones. Calculating bends and figuring out exactly where to place the rod or the tube in the bender probably is the hardest part. Doing the actual brazing is not hard. Just a little bit of patience and cleaning the metal really well, and having a map gas torch makes things pretty easy. But yeah, that's something I have been working on lately. So I took my Element builder's kit that I have, and there's a video that came out on that, like a workbench vlog video, and basically I just made up a front bumper, real minimalistic, really hugs the body, kind of nice, and then I did a simple, tube style rear bumper. I used solid rod. I used a 3/16 solid rod, so pretty beefy, and just painted it all black with a high temperature, scratch resistant paint. We'll see if it holds up, but I have plenty of that. I can always take it off and repaint it. No big deal. Last thing I've been working on quite a bit is I decided to sell my X Max to kind of fund some future projects, recoup some costs from the YouTube channel, the camera, and the gimbal, and lighting, and things like that. This microphone, and yeah, mostly just to put some money back in the fun fund, and I don't ever drive it. I thought I had a broken A-arm, but it really didn't. It was just a issue with one of the A-arms, the retention pins on the bulkhead side, and fix that up. We ended up taking you guys never saw it, but I had a Max 6 and 1100 kV. I never really liked that combo. Found out after I put it in there that most people recommend with an 1100 kV, you need to do the Max 5. The 1650 runs okay. This is all hobby wing, but the that Max 5 doesn't really have the oomph for that 1100 and what it can draw. So decided to take that out, put the stock electronics back in it. I sold the radio a while back because I had it hooked up to my Noble from Fly Sky. I bought a brand new Dembo RC transmitter receiver. I've had those before. Pretty good, for $40 you get transmitter with crazy long range, pretty good adjustability, 4 channels. Really, I needed 2 of them. Actually, I think it's a 6-channel receiver, but and it's got a gyro in it as well, so you get that kind of traction control, stability control. But that's kind of what I've been up to. I do have a few other projects on the shelf. I'm gonna do some sort of hard body on a VS410 straight axle. I ended up buying the F10T axles, the Toyota like axles that Vanquish makes. And what else? And then obviously I have my Ultra to build. I think I'm going to do a Phoenix body on the Ultra. Probably not do the bed sides on the rear. Kind of make it look like one of the RTRs, but it's going to have aluminum axles, and I might do the machine gears in there, but we'll see. Thinking, kind of brainstorming for that. I want to use those purple wheels that I got in Wheels of Fortune, and kind of thinking I'm going to do black with an off-centered stripe and purple, and just do some like silver outlines on that stripe. Pretty simplistic. But the only other all black like Lexan body RC I have is my Artful Dodgers Ground Fox, and it's you know, quite a bit different than the Phoenix body. So I think that'll look pretty cool, and I think the purple wheels would look pretty sweet on that as well. So that's the plan. If you watch this and don't agree or think I should do something else, feel free to let me know. I'd love to hear it. I'm just not a very creative person, so if you guys want to challenge me with a wild paint job or something, I'm all ears. I'll see if I can execute. All right, moving on. Every episode I like to talk about new products or builds that I've seen online that I really enjoyed. Really, the only two things I could come to mind when I was making my notes for the episode are the newest releases. Last week, the Phoenix RTR and the SCX10 Pro. And this episode may go a little bit longer because I would like to talk, kind of what my thoughts are on those. So we're gonna bring them up. I'm gonna look at them, and I'll let you guys know what I think. Just so I have all the specs and stuff right here in front of me. All right. So we'll start off with the Vanquish, the VS410 Phoenix RTR. Obviously, Vanquish's first, intro into the RTR game. I think someone asked Josh a couple months ago if they would ever do an RTR, and he kind of scoffed at it. And I would imagine that it was being worked on at the time. So he did a great job of not, he kind of laughed at it basically. Just the complexity of sourcing electronics and things like that. I will say as a disclaimer, it's a real bummer that this stuff, they both got leaked the night before. I was watching Exo Cage live, doing some homework, and I heard someone say, oh, Phoenix RTR. And I was like, there's no way that's what, this big release is for tomorrow. But, sure enough, that's what it was. And, it kind of takes the wind out of the sails. So if you're listening to this, even if you stumble across something, don't spread it, shut it down. If, you see it early enough, maybe do report it to someone that has vested interest in that company, and maybe they can get it taken down. You guys know I love Vanquish. I love that their machining is done in America. Their kits are made in Taiwan, not China. And if you know anything about the world going on, like, I fully support that. Things are a little bit higher quality coming out of Taiwan usually as well. I think their machining factory processes are a little bit better. And I think they knocked it out of the park. The price is $479, $480. So they got under that $500 mark. They're right in there with like a TRX4, a fully featured TRX4, the Bronco, the Blazer, whether it's the retro or the new Bronco. I think the new Bronco is still $550. So yeah, they come in, under that $500 mark, puts them right in there. And I think that the stuff that they included is better. So, you get the VFD twin transmission, which some people aren't huge fans of, but I actually really like it. I think I do prefer the VFD, the regular VFD more, but the ability to switch overdrive and built-in dig is really nice. I've really come to love dig, and the fact that I don't have to buy a separate module or component and bolt it on and install it. It's right there. You just got to get your endpoints set on your servo right, and you're up and running. So that's pretty cool. I'm glad they didn't do a simplified version or some oddball proprietary transmission to save cost. You get those F10 straight axles, which have really good steering angles. They're strong axles. I don't know if these have the brass inserts in them like the kits have. I don't see it on their website, but you get full stainless links, the same stainless links you always get. Those are really nice. They're heavy. Get your CG down pretty low. The chassis, the VS410 chassis, is proven. Extremely stiff chassis. You get off-centered front pumpkin, for that realism. You get spiral cut gears, 6-bolt locker. Let's see, what else? You get a 25 tooth servo horn. It isn't the same as the normal servo horns that they sell, but it looks really nice. And the fact that it's metal, I like that. Kudos to them. They didn't cheap out on that. Their ISDT10 drive shafts are solid. The S80 shocks are some of my favorite shocks, especially for a scale look. They perform well. If they're built right, they don't leak. You get double sheared on everything. You get an aluminum panhard, so you get a metal panhard as opposed to plastic like a lot of models. You're also going to get, hidden body clips, which I hate body clips. So, it doesn't help the fact that I may still lose them, but I don't have to look at them. So that's pretty cool. But I think the number one biggest thing with this is the transmitter. They basically just reused or repurposed and, rebranded a existing transmitter. I don't remember which one it was, but it's really nice. Digital screen. You can digitally set endpoints. Seems like it's pretty easy to do, judging by the videos I saw. It's got a 15 model memory, and the receivers are about $20, I hear. So you can get in there. If this is one of your first vehicles, you don't need to go out and buy, a FlySky, Futaba, Spectrum, anything like that, Radio Link. This can be your radio for a while. 4 channels, so it's going to be able to do pretty much anything you want without getting into, winches and lights and things like that. But that's an awesome feature. And the fact that they got that in with the price they got it all in at is just phenomenal, honestly. You basically get a repurposed 1060 ESC, which, I would like to see a 1080. I don't think I've ever used a 1060. And I know 1080s and I know they run really well, but, they did their research and they decided, for the cost, it's about as good as it gets. Most of the time people want to make a jump, they're probably just going to make a jump to brushless. So another huge pro for this is they ditched the VXT tires, the standards, and they put their Wild Peak Falcon tires, their 4.75s on there. I have a set of them. I don't have them mounted up to anything. I'm actually going to use them on that Woods Runner build, but they're awesome tires. They look amazing, and they're very, very sticky. They will stick to the table if you stick them down. Probably not ideal if you run in very dirty conditions because they're just going to pick every piece of dirt up. But if you're trying to rock crawl, they're going to do you very well. Before anyone asks, am I going to get one of these? No, because I already have a regular Phoenix. I have my Speedy, which is a lot of Phoenix components. I have the Woods Runner, which is going to be built on a Phoenix. The A1 is going to be built on a Phoenix. My hard body is going to be built on a Phoenix. I got a Pro. I got an Ultra. This isn't for me, I don't think. But rewind 2 years. If this was out where I am in the hobby, definitely this would be for me. A lot of things I see that I really like about it. I wouldn't have had my radio yet, so I would have loved to have this one. And additionally, I think that really what you need to make this like a very good crawler, you're probably not going to be winning any competitions, but you're going to be able to hit a lot of very challenging lines, is I would get some sort of high powered servo, raw 500, a direct power. You could spend probably between 60 to $120 without getting into like the really, really top end stuff, the 1,000 ounce inches. It is unneeded. Try to get in that 400 ounce inch, 500, 600 maybe, and then move the RTR one. I would move it to dig. I think if I was doing a lot of technical crawling, really low speed, not trailing, I would lock the overdrive at 33% and put the RTR servo on the dig. Obviously have the high powered servo for your steering, and I would probably get a Fusion Pro 2300. And then last thing I would do is, I think these are bead locks. Let me look here. I would disassemble those bead locks, pull those tires off, and put Crawl Innovations or some sort of foam in there. And I think with those things, say you went with an EcoPower 120T, you went with a Fusion Pro, you're at about $200 right there. And then two sets of foams from Crawl Innovations, it's about $250. you're under 750 and you're going to have a bomb truck. Um, if you bumped it up to kind of that 800 total all in, you could get a really nice servo, raw 500 or a ProTech 370 TBL would do you good, but a lot of different options, a lot of direct power for 120, $130. That's going to have 1,000 ounce inches on 4S, but in the 800s on 3S. Enough about the Vanquish Phoenix. You guys, I'm sure you've seen it, but I just want it to be known. I'm very impressed, and I look forward to seeing what they do next, honestly, because I think these things are going to sell really well. There's a lot of people who are intimidated by a kit. That transmission is a beast. I've built 4 of them already, and every time it kind of gets me hemmed up. The directions aren't perfect. It's all there. It's just, there's a lot of things that go into each step, and it's kind of easy to mess something up. But yeah, moving on to the Axial, the SCX10 Pro Scalar 4-wheel drive kit. I have to agree with Matt from Scale Builders Guild. I hate the word scalar. I'm not a very scale person in general. Don't know as much about this. $430. Basically, you get a chassis slider. You're gonna get some, partially metal, partial plastic tube style axles. They're straight axles based on the AR45. You're gonna get a flat rail chassis, which is pretty cool. You get some really nice looking shocks. These shocks look absolutely sick. I hope that they're as smooth as people are saying. I typically don't care for axial shocks a whole lot. So I was trying to get the actual webpage brought up so I can kind of mouse over some things. I should have done that with the Phoenix, but for some reason I'm not able to get that to work. It might be because I already started recording. But anyways, yeah, flat rail chassis. The sliders are kind of cool. They're modular, so you can actually take a piece off and they get much shorter. The transmission looks really sick. It's a forward mounted transmission with a divorce transfer case, basically. Yeah, it's off centered in the front, the pumpkin, centered rear axle. You can run chassis mounted servo. You can also run axle mounted servo. It's got setups for you to go ahead and throw a winch in there. It's got mounts for a servo winch, fair lead, minimalistic bumpers. To be honest, I think Axial did really well with this too. It looks very well thought out. For me, I think the price is a little on the high side. Not much. I think that 379 would have been a really good price for this. Maybe $50 cheaper. That's only because it comes with aluminum chassis. The axles are okay. AR45s are okay. They're not my favorite axle. The shocks look cool. We'll see, how they perform, but time will tell. The thing is, it's not a turnkey solution. I like that they didn't include wheels and tires, to save money, but what you get for almost, for $430, it seems a little light to me. I know a lot of, engineering and thought went into this. They had to probably retool a bunch of stuff that they didn't already have. So, if it ends up not selling quite as well as they hoped, we might see the price drop slightly just to kind of nudge it along. And I think if it hits the sub 400, I think it will do well. Because you're talking, motor ESC, servo, wheels, tires, foams. If you're going to comp and if you're going to buy this, you're planning on comping probably, or at least like building an ultra competitive truck. Additionally, a body for wheels, tires, and foams. Without even like breaking the bank on super nice stuff, you could go plastic bead locks, and you're still going to be, $120 probably. Your power system, you're looking at probably 150 to 200. You could put like a Hobbywing Fusion SE in here. You could do a, very basic, brushed and 1080 setup. But I think if you're spending money on this, you're probably not going to go that basic. You'd probably go with a nicer brushed motor. So I think that at least $120 probably for your electronics, servo ESC. You're going to want a pretty high powered servo, another 100. So you're talking in a body, you're talking about another $400 to $500. I know that building and I own a lot of vehicles that are, over that 1K mark, but um, the only thing I criticize with this is I think that they were trying to make an easy solution for people who don't want to build. They don't want to go through the process of finding links, finding axles, finding drive shafts, finding a transmission, a high performing transmission. What chassis kit do I get? Does it come with cross braces? And the issue is those people probably don't want to spend $1,000 on a vehicle. So in order to complete this, they're going to be at least at 700, even if they go with like bare bones everything. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this. I do like it. I love that they went after this. Thinking outside the box. I heard the conversation with Rich from Axial, and I actually really like listening to him. I think he's very candid with the thought processes and the way these things happen. And I missed West Desert Wheeler. I went to bed early. His live stream with Wyatt. He was an engineer working for Axial, and this was modeled after his comp truck. So I have no doubt. Allegedly, this was his comp truck from 2021 that they modeled this after. And if they stuck to that mold, it's probably going to be a high performer. The transmission probably will do very well. Maybe they've got the axles where you get really good steering radius. I don't know. But I'm just unsure. The shocks are unproven. They're kind of reminiscent of a Draft Tech. I've never ran Draft Tech, but I do know they're kind of the cream of the crop when it comes to comp shocks. And we'll see. We'll see what the verdict is on them, if they perform as well as they should. Another thing that I forgot in the cost to complete this is the underdrive servo. It's not overdrive because it just slows the rear down instead of speeding the front axle up. But essentially, it creates about 40% overdrive, which is substantial, and that's pretty cool. I like that it did a micro servo, so you can either use the Spectrum. Those things aren't very good. They're cheap, but they're not very reliable. So if you want to bump up a tier, you're going to spend another 30, 40, up to $70 or $80, I think, for like a Reefs 99 micro. So I don't know. I'm getting kind of long-winded here, but it's interesting. I like that they were aggressive and they went after it. I think the price, I'm just not sure where the price is coming from. There's no licensing. Maybe they just are being aggressive with their margins, and they think that the comp scene, people spend $1,000, $1,200, $2,000 on rigs all the time. And maybe they think that this is a great chassis entry to that. I do think the guys that spend that much would rather have carbon fiber rails, which they're going to offer, but another $80, I think is what they said. Like they would rather have their own axles, probably ones that are a little more proven, high performing than 2 axles, or the F10 axles are really good. Yeah. Or the fact is, like I said, it was just a tooling cost, and it just cost a lot to, this is, the first time this transmission has been made, a lot of the cross braces, the bumpers, things like that. But I'm going to close it out talking about that. I do like it. I like the aggression from them. Not a fan of the price, but I think it's pretty cool. I'm excited to see what people build. I want to see people comp with them. Upgrades. I already talked about the TRX 4M, so that's coming. That's probably the next thing I work on. Should be really easy. 30 minutes, I imagine. Servo, motor. Like I said, got the X Max all fixed, put together, listed online, hoping to sell it and use that money for something else in the future. My Rift, I got a Vitavon sway bar and I got that put on. So that is done. And I also got Vanquish 2.2s, their KMC tanks, and I got those all mounted up. I've got the Mickey Thompson Braha Pro X's on there. They're 2.2s from Proline. And I was just waiting on wheel nuts to be able to work with the hub system. The regular Rift wheel nuts weren't working. So I got some wheel and tire options, and I need to get my Rift out and show it to you guys because it's fun. I really like it. Expect to see me start to wrap up that Element build that I've been using, kind of a test bed for learning how to braze. Show you guys my bumpers. You guys can judge my brazing work. And yeah, we'll gonna do a pretty cool paint job on that, I think. A little more extravagant than I usually do. So I'm excited for that. But I've gone on long enough, and I want to let you guys get back to your day. I hope everyone has a great Monday. You have a great rest of your week. Hang out with your family, get the stuff you need to get done. And then hopefully you guys get time to, work on your RCs, go outside, run them, possibly, treat yourself, buy something. And yeah, just have fun with the hobby. Don't forget to hit subscribe, hit like, leave a comment. Let me know if you disagree with me on anything. Whether you dislike the Phoenix or you love the new Axial release a lot more. If you think I left something out and I should have talked about it, and you want to hear my rambling opinion, comment down below. Love the engagement. Love to hear from you guys. You guys have been awesome. I will catch you guys next time. Thanks.